Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So this is phase 4 of of my DC universe. It's a part of a series on my channel. I've already done phases 1, 2, and 3, and if you haven't seen that already, make sure to see it because you will not understand this video if you haven't seen the others. So I already finished phase 1, 2, and 3, and that was its own saga. It's another saga, phase 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, let's get it into the video. So the first movie of phase 4 will be Justice Society. The team will consist of Dr. Fate, specifically Kent Nelson, Carter Hall Hawkman, Hawkgirl Shira Sanders Hall, Wonder Woman, Jay Garrick Flash, Alan Scott Green Lantern, The Spectre, Dinah Drake Black Canary, Al Pratt Atom, and Wildcat. This movie is set in Earth 2, so this is kind of like a multiverse movie. This takes place during World War II. In this movie, the main villain is Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage is like a Nazi general. His plan is to overthrow Hitler and just become the leader of the world. The Justice League, they're not alone. They got some help. They got Steve Trevor, Rick Flag Sr., Sergeant Rock, and the Black Ops helping them. Vandal Savage also has people working with him. He's got Captain Nazi, White Dragon, and Baron Blitzkrieg. So next movie is Mr. Miracle. This is kind of like a pseudo sequel to New Gods. This is also going to be kind of like a prequel. This will have a lot of flashback of Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, and we'll see him meeting Big Barda for the first time, and we'll also see the death of the original Mr. Miracle, Thaddeus Brown. After Darkseid died in Final Crisis, Granny Goodness has now taken over Apocalypse. Granny Goodness has the female Furies working for her. She sends the female Furies to hunt down Mr. Miracle and Big Barda since she hates them and wants like revenge against them. We'll also see flashbacks to Big Barda when she was a part of the female Furies. We'll also see flashbacks of like Scott as a kid when he was growing up in Granny Goodness's orphanage. We'll have other heroes like Oberon, Ryan, Light Ray, Ted Brown, Becca, Hyman, and Metron like helping out Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. And then secondary villains in this movie will be Kanto, Vermin Wunderbar, and Dr. Bedlam. And we'll also see Darkseid in a flashback. So the next movie is Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil. This movie is about the Shazam family. Everyone has powers, like the entire family. Mr. Mind forms the Monster Society of Evil, which consists of Dr. Savannah, Mr. Atom, Ibak, King Kull, and Black Adam. Billy, he kind of doesn't really know how to be a leader. He's kind of struggling. Mr. Mind summons Sabak at the end of the movie, so the Shazam family, they not only have to fight Sabak, but also like a giant version of Mr. Mind. Like how I mentioned before that Black Adam is a part of the Monster Society of Evil because he was brought back by Mr. Mind. And at the end of the movie, Black Adam gets taken away by the government. Next movie is Doom Patrol. The team will be the Chief, Robot Man, Elasta Woman, Negative Man, Mento, Crazy Jane, Joshua Clay, and Dorothy Spinner. This movie will be rated R and also an origin story. Mr. Nobody is going to be the main villain of the movie, and he is messing with the team's sanity. And how they defeat Mr. Nobody is by trapping him into a painting. We'll have a post-credit scene of Beast Boy joining the team. So the next movie is Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven. Barbara Gordon, aka Oracle, will also be in this movie. She'll be kind of like a second lead. Deathstroke wants revenge against Nightwing because Nightwing defeated him at the end of like the previous like Teen Titans movie. and we'll also be introduced to Rose Wilson. The second main villain in this movie will be Tad Ryerstad, who is a narcissistic, psychopathic vigilante who calls himself Nightwing. He calls himself a hero even though he's killing innocent people. Nightwing, he sees a troubled kid. He wants to help Tad become a bit better person. Then he's just like, you know what? I gotta turn this guy in because he finds out how hateful he is and he sees him like murdering people. Deathstroke takes in Tad as his apprentice. Both of them hate Nightwing so much that they bond and like become a team. We'll also have some other villains. We'll have Tarantula, Shrike, Double Dare, Torque, Vigilante, and Black Mask. The next movie is Green Arrow, The Archer's Quest. Oliver Queen, he's going on a quest. He's joined with Black Canary, his lover, and Hal Jordan, his best friend. Oliver and Dinah get married. And we also find out that Green Arrow has a son named Connor Hawk. We also get introduced to Mia Durden and Naomi Singh. The main villain of this movie is Onomatopoeia. He wants to try to kill Connor Hawk, but Oliver, Dinah, and Hal, they stop him. We'll also get other heroes in this movie like Jon Stewart, Wildcat, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, and Aquaman. Next movie is Blue Beetle. After the death of Ted Cord, a teenager named Jaime Reyes, he finds the scarab, which, it grafts onto him and it turns him into the Blue Beetle. And if you've seen my Phase 2 video on the series, you know that there's a Blue Beetle TV show. And this movie is kind of a continuation of the TV show. Blue Beetle comes into conflict with a mob boss known as Ladama, the main villain of the movie. Jaime, his two best friends in this movie will be Paco Testas and Brenda Del Vecchio. We find out that Ladama is actually Brenda's aunt, and she tries to turn her against Jaime. In the third act, Ladama becomes Lady Styx. Secondary villains in this movie will be Carapax, Devil Dog, and Anubis. Mid-credit scene will tease the return of Ted Cord, and the post-credit scene will tease Paco becoming Blood Beetle. Next movie is Supergirl, Legion of Superheroes. Kara Zor-El, or Supergirl, gets transported to the future by the Legion of Superheroes. The Legion of Superheroes, there will be Brainiac 5, Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, Saturn Girl, Bouncing Boy, and Chameleon Boy. She decides to join the Legion when she finds out that the reason why they brought her to the future was because they needed help to take down the main villain of this movie, Vril Dox, who is the clone son of Brainiac. Brainiac 5 will be a love interest for Supergirl. After they defeat Vril Dox, Supergirl decides, you know what? I'm gonna stay in the future and be a member of the Legion of Superheroes. Next movie is Teen Titans, The Terror of Trigon. You probably already know who the villain of this movie is. It's Trigon, like obviously from the title. The team is now Nightwing, Arsenal, Wonder Girl, Raven, Cyborg, Calderam, Jaime, Reyes, Bumblebee, and Jarek. Trigon has been unleashed. He wants to take over the world. Trigon, he's the father of Raven, and in this movie he tries to corrupt Raven's soul. Trigon wants Raven to be evil and take over the world, but Raven's like, nah, I'm a superhero. We also get a conflict between Roy and Dick, where Roy's like, I could be a better leader than Dick. And like he gets into a fight with him. We'll also have a brief appearance of the Fearsome Five. In this movie, there will be a cult that worships Trigon. The cult is led by none other than Brother Blood. And at the end of the movie, Raven sacrifices her life to kill Trigon, so it's kind of a bittersweet ending. After Raven dies, the team decides to disband. So the next movie is called Flash, the fastest man alive. In Final Crisis, Barry died. Wally West is now the new Flash. He's like, how am I gonna be just like him? But at the end of the movie, he learns to be more confident in himself. He will also have a mentor in Jay Garrick. So the main villain of this movie is Mirror Master, but not the original Mirror Master. There's a new Mirror Master, Evan McCulloch. He forms a new version of the Rogues, which consists of the second Trickster, Axel Walker, the second Captain Boomerang, Owen Mercer, Abracadabra, Top, and Dr. Alchemy. The Pied Piper, he's reformed and he's an ally to Wally West. The love interest in the movie is going to be Linda Park. At the end of the movie, Wally's like, why do I need this secret identity? And he just reveals to the world that he is the Flash. The last film in this phase is Green Lantern, the First Lantern. I want to give a big shout out to Superframe, a YouTube channel that you should check out. He kind of does what I do. Like he did it first where he makes his own DC universe. He has his own series on like how he'd do a Green Lantern saga. I basically just stole everything from him. I want to give him credit because I just based off like what he did for his Green Lantern movies to like that's what I'm doing. Kind of like the exact same movies. So I just want to give credit to him because that's who I got the idea for the Green Lantern movies for. Big thing about this movie is it'll be the first Green Lantern movie with the four main Green Lanterns, Hal, John, Guy, and Kyle. Krona unleashes Volthoom, who is the first Lantern to destroy the Guardians. We'll also get flashbacks to like the creation of the first Lantern. This movie does a big part in showing us the dark side of the Guardians. William Hand will be an important part in this movie. This movie will set up the next movie, which is Blackest Night. And this movie will learn that the power of every emotion, like green, yellow, red, blue, pink, indigo, orange, they can combine together to form the White Lantern. In the post-credit scene of the movie, William Hand sees Necron. This will tease him becoming Black Hand for the next movie. So that's all the movies done. Let's talk about TV shows. So we'll get a Catwoman show, an animated series of the Green Lantern Corps. This will be all canon. Green Lantern, it could be like DC's Star Wars. If we do like a Green Lantern animated series, it could be like Green Lanterns, like Clone Wars. The next show, it's about Themyscira, and we'll also get a Zatanna show. Next show is Animal Man, and the last show is Suicide Squad. So that is it for Phase 4 of the DCU. Okay, so the first movie is Batman Under the Red Hood. I assume most of you already know the storyline Batman Under the Red Hood. There's an anti-hero named Red Hood who kills criminals and he wants to, like, murder the Joker. And it turns out he's actually Jason Todd, the second Robin, who was killed by the Joker but then brought back by the Lazarus Pit. In the comics, it was like Superboy Prime, like, punched the universe and then he came back and then they put him in the Lazarus Pit. But, in this, it'll just be the Lazarus Pit. We won't have that. Red Hood, he'll be kind of an antagonist, but he becomes like a reluctant ally to Batman. Also, Tim Drake, he's been Robin since after Jason died. The villains of this movie are gonna be the League of Assassins, led by Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's al Ghul, he's gonna be the main villain of the movie, and so Jason decides to team up with Batman and Robin so that they can take down Ra's al Ghul. And then at the end of the movie, Batman and Ra's al Ghul, they both die. We'll have a post-credit scene that teases Damian Wayne. So the next movie is Static. If you haven't seen the animated series Static Shock, you should. It's really good. Basically, the storyline is 14-year-old kid. His name is Virgil Hawkins. He lives in Dakota City. He gets exposed to mutagen gas, which gives him electric powers. A big explosion that, like, exposes mutagen gas, and that, like, people who are around that area, they get powers, and like it's called the Big Bang, and all the people who got the powers are known as Bang Babies. So Virgil becomes a superhero named Static. His best friend Richie helps him out and is kind of like his guy in the chair. There are villains who are also other Bang Babies who got powers, like Ivan Evans, who calls himself Ebon, and he has like these shadow powers. Ebon has a gang of other Bang Babies, such as Talon, Hotstreak, and Shiv. The next movie is Birds of Prey. The team will be Oracle, Black Canary, Huntress, Big Barda, Lady Blackhawk, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, and Kendra Saunders, Hawkgirl. Since Batman's death, crime in Gotham City has skyrocketed. Barbara Gordon decides to put together a team of female heroes to defend the city. This movie will have the origin of Cassandra Cain. There's a criminal, Noah Cutler, also known as the Calculator, who is the main villain of this movie, who's been a kind of like a tactical supervisor for criminals, and he helps them with heists. And we'll also get an origin story for Kendra Saunders, Hawkgirl. Secondary villains in this movie will be Savant, Copperhead, Cheshire, and White Canary. So the next movie is Justice Society Legacy. This one's in the present day, Earth 2. There is a new Justice Society team of younger heroes, and that team will be Khalid Nassour, Dr. Fate, Power Girl, Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific, Stargirl, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, Jakeem Thunder, Obsidian Jade, and Nathan Haywood, Citizen Steel. A major focus of this movie will be the younger heroes carrying on the legacy of the original Justice Society, and the original members of the Justice Society will also appear, and they'll be mentors to the new members. The main villain of this movie is Eclipso. So what happens is this scientist named Bruce Gordon finds the diamond of Eclipso. His body becomes the host of Eclipso's soul. In the beginning of the movie, we will get a flashback of the Spectre fighting Eclipso. Mordred will be a secondary villain, and the post-credit scene will show the Spectre discovering the multiverse. So the next movie is Nightwing and Robin, and in this movie we'll see how the death of Batman has affected Nightwing. Nightwing will meet Damian Wayne, who is the son of Bruce and Talia that Bruce Wayne did not know about. So Dick takes in Damian as his Robin. This movie will also introduce the Court of Owls. A rogue member of the Court of Owls, known as Raptor, teams up with Nightwing. Dick will find out that his great-grandfather, William Cobb, is a Talon for the Court of Owls. Talon, he starts out as the villain of the movie, but then Raptor kills him, and then he, like, betrays Nightwing, and we find out Raptor is a part of the Cobra cult. And we also find out that Raptor knew Dick's mom before Dick was born, and that Dick was actually named after Raptor. Dick will act as kind of a father figure for Damian, and we'll also see other members of the Bat family. The next movie is Doom Patrol 2. The members of Doom Patrol will be the same members of the first movie, in addition to Beast Boy, Flex Mentallo, and Bumblebee. The reason why Beast Boy is in this team is he is the adopted son of Mento and Elasta Woman. The Negative Spirit merges Negative Man with Dr. Eleanor Poole, and they become Rebus. So the main villains of this movie are the Brain and Monsieur Mala, and they want to get revenge on the Chief because he is the reason why the Brain lost his body and is just a brain. Brain and Mala, they have a supervillain team called the Brotherhood of Evil, which consists of Madame Rogue, General Immortus, Gargox, Gemini, Plasmus, and Phobia. And in this movie, Mala removes Robot Man's brain and replaces it with the brain. The heroes manage to get Robot Man his brain back. The Brotherhood of Evil kill the Chief. The next movie is Blue Beetle 2. Ted Cord returns, and he is a mentor to Jaime. Booster Gold took him from the past. Booster Gold will be a big part of the movie. The main villain of the movie will be Blood Beetle, who is Jaime's friend Paco, who has this scarab grafted onto him, which takes over his mind and turns him into the Blood Beetle. Jaime is trying to save Paco. Secondary villains in this movie will be Silverback, Lucreza, and Negotiator. In the third act, Jaime, Ted, and Booster Gold team up with The Question, Captain Atom, and Nightshade to stop Blood Beetle. Jaime convinces Paco to fight the Scarab's control and remove it. After they beat Blood Beetle, Booster Gold decides to bring Ted back to his time. Next movie is Flash Terminal Velocity. Wally West, he is the Flash. He meets Barry Allen's grandson from the future, Bart Allen, aka Impulse. This movie will be about the Flash family. The Flash family will be Wally West, Bart Allen, Jay Garrick, Max Mercury, and Jesse Quick. Wally and Linda Park are married. Wally, he's got a new friend helping him out named Chunk. He's got like a black hole inside of him or something. So the main villain of this movie is the Black Flash, who is the Grim Reaper for speedsters. Bart has come from the future to warn Wally about him. Black Flash tries to take Wally, but he takes Linda instead, and he takes Linda to the Speed Force. And it is also revealed that Black Flash was there when Barry Allen died. The Tornado Twins from the future will also show up. So the next movie is Green Lantern Blackest Night. This has been what all the Green Lantern movies have been led up to. Necron has given William Hand the power of the Black Lantern. He has become Black Hand and is the main villain of the movie. He brings back all the dead heroes and villains, and they'll be members of the Black Lantern Corps. Hal has to work with the other Lantern Corps members to defeat Black Hand. Hal, John, Guy, Alan, and Kyle are all in this movie, and the Justice League will also show up to help. In this movie, Hal discovers the entity known as Parallax. In a desperate attempt to defeat the Black Lantern Corps, he becomes one with Parallax. At the end of the movie, Kyle becomes the White Lantern, which he uses to defeat Black Hand and Necron. So for TV shows, we'll have a Justice League Dark TV show, a Stargirl TV show, a TV show about Atlantis, a TV show about the Legion of Superheroes, a TV show about Krypton before it got exploded, and a TV show about the Human Target. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. The first movie is Batman Beyond. So this movie is based off the animated series Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis is this teenager who meets old man Bruce Wayne, and he saves him from some Joker goons, and he finds out that Bruce Wayne used to be Batman. But he's not Batman anymore since he retired because he's old. He physically cannot be Batman anymore. Because this takes place in the future. That's basically going to be like the plot of the movie. I know you may be thinking, hey, didn't Batman die in the last phase? And to that I say, yes. Yes, he did die. We are not bringing him back. This is another universe, fitting in with the multiverse concept. Yeah, pretty much goes a lot like the show. His love interest will be Dana Tan. The main villain of this movie will be Blight, who was the main villain of season 1 of Batman Beyond. Derek Powers has Terry's father killed. Then Terry wants to get revenge on Derek Powers. Derek Powers, he gets into like this accident, this chemical accident that turns him into Blight, and like he's all like green and like all chemically. So the next movie is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So there is a book written by Tom King called Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So this will be based off of it. I've read the book, and you know what? It's decent. It's pretty good. Basically, there's this girl named Ruth that Supergirl meets, and she wants revenge on the person who killed her father. So Supergirl is like on a journey and something. So this will be kind of like a coming of age story where Supergirl goes on a journey with this a girl named Ruth. Instead of Krem, who was like the villain of the book, since he was just created for that story, I think we should replace him with Rain, who's like a Supergirl villain. The heroes in this movie are Supergirl, Crypto, Ruth, Superboy, Steel, and Martian Manhunter. So the next movie is Birds of Prey: Cry for Blood. It's a sequel to Birds of Prey. The same members from the first movie will be back. Renee Montoya will help out the team, and the main villain of this movie will be Lady Shiva. So next movie is Doom Patrol 3. This is what's gonna end the trilogy. It'll be like a goodbye to the team. The villain could be like Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man. So the next movie is Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is a big one. So this will obviously be based off the storyline with the same name. If you don't know the story, well, this villain named the Anti-Monitor who wants to destroy every universe and the heroes have to stop him. So this time, like, the Justice League isn't like 7 or like 10 members. This is like Justice League Unlimited, where it's like all expanded and there's like a bunch of people and there's like a big watchtower. The Spectre is going to be the person who gathers all the heroes together to defeat the Anti-Monitors. Like I said in Justice League Legacy, he was discovering the multiverse, and in that he discovered Anti-Monitor. So in this movie, we will see a lot of the different universes in the DC multiverse. We'll have Earth 2, and if you remember, that's where the Justice Society are from. This is Justice League 5, but it'll also kind of be Justice Society 3. And we'll also see the Justice League of Earth 2. There'll be like a Superman and Batman from Earth 2. This movie will also introduce the Monitor, Harbinger, Pariah, Alexander Luthor Jr., and Superboy Prime. This movie will have many deaths in it. It'll have the death of Supergirl, Aquaman, Green Arrow, and Martian Manhunter. We will also see Earth 3, which gets destroyed. From Earth 3, there's the Crime Syndicate, which is basically the Justice League but evil, and we will see the Anti-Monitor kill them. Alexander Luthor Jr. is also from that Earth, but he escapes. It's kind of like the heroes are the villains and the villains are the heroes, and so Lex Luthor is a hero and his son is like a hero there too, and he helps the team. At the end of the movie, the Spectre, Earth 2 Superman, Alex Jr., and Superboy Prime defeat the Anti-Monitor. But even though they defeated him, they're too late because he already destroyed the multiverse. All the worlds get destroyed and there's just a new Earth to replace it. Surviving inhabitants of those Earths live in New Earth. Most of the Earths are gone, but there's just only one Earth now. So after they defeat Anti-Monitor, Superman and Lois from Earth 2 go with Alexander Jr. and Superboy Prime to live in this dimension that Alex Luthor has created called a Paradise Dimension. But at the end of the movie, Alexander Jr. starts manipulating Superboy Prime into destroying the new Earth. We'll have a post-credit scene where the Spectre finds out about Luthor's plot, but he can't do anything to stop it since his powers have weakened after the fight against Anti-Monitor. So he turns to Parallax, who Hal Jordan has become at the end of Blackest Night, to help him. So the next movie is Static 2. This is kind of like a break from the big multiverse stuff, and this will just be a grounded story. It'll take place before the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Virgil, he's been a superhero for a bit, and his best friend Richie becomes Gear and is going to be like his sidekick. Virgil also meets Daisy Watkins, who will be his love interest in the movie. So in this movie, he can go up against Rubber Band Man, who like wants revenge on a producer who stole a song like in the show. His brother is Ebon, who wants to recruit him in his gang. Instead of Static defeating the bad guy in the end, we can have it so that Static convinces Rubber Band Man to reform and like turn himself into the cops. So the next movie is Young Justice. This team will be Tim Drake, Con El, Cassie Sandsmark, Impulse, Calderam, Blue Beetle, Static, Connor Hawk, Terra, and Miss Martian. So this movie will take place directly after Crisis on Infinite Earths. The team comes together to stop Superboy Prime from destroying the universe. And so we'll see Superboy Prime kill Teen Titans members like Speedy, Raven, Jericho, Cyborg, and Beast Boy. You might be thinking, how are these guys going to be able to beat Superboy Prime, like one of the most powerful characters? Well, they're kind of not going to be able to. The only person that is able to is Superboy, aka Kal-El, but he dies in a fight with him, and it'll be kind of like a heroic sacrifice that he does to save the other members. So in the end, the team loses, but in the process, they find out Superboy Prime is actually working for Alexander Luthor Jr. At the end, they go to the Justice League to tell them about Alex Jr.'s plan to use Superboy Prime to destroy the New Earth. The next movie is Justice League Infinite Crisis, which is a follow-up to Crisis on Infinite Earths. And now that the multiverse is destroyed, Alex Jr. wants to get rid of New Earth and create his own perfect world using the Anti-Monitor's powers with the help of Superboy Prime. So the villain of this movie, in his own mind, he thinks he's doing good. He wants to essentially play God and make his own Earth that's a perfect utopia. Alex Jr. kills the Spectre and steals his powers, and Alex Jr. creates Brother Eye and uses Anti-Monitor's corpse to power it, and he wants to use Brother Eye to help create the perfect Earth, and the person he puts in charge of it is Maxwell Lord. Will have many teams like the Justice League, the Young Justice, the Justice Society, and the Doom Patrol, and other heroes who survived the multiverse explosion, all working together to stop Alex Jr. from playing God. Someone else who the heroes have working with them is Lex Luthor, who is reformed. The only person who doesn't trust him is Superman from Earth 2, who was in the Paradise Dimension, but he comes to New Earth to help the heroes when he finds out about Alex Jr.'s plan. In his attempts to create the perfect Earth, Alexander Luthor Jr. recreates New Earth 2. Superboy Prime, he's been pounding on the barrier of reality, which causes ripples in the timeline, which creates alternate universe. So both Alexander Jr. and Superboy Prime, in their attempt to make a perfect world, they're unknowingly recreating the multiverse. Heroes have to battle an army of Omax. Superboy Prime gets defeated by Parallax, aka Hal Jordan, and then he gets imprisoned by the Green Lantern Corps. Hal Jordan kind of gets a redemption arc, and in the end, he becomes the Spectre. So at the end, Dick, Wally, Donna, and Kyle fight Alexander Jr. In the fight, he blasts them. After he blasts them, he drains the power he has, and he becomes weak. Since Dick is like the only normal guy out of those guys, he gets badly injured. So since Alex Jr. is all weak, he escapes. He's found by Lex Luthor, who kills him. And that's it. The next movie is Flash Blitz. This takes place directly after Infinite Crisis. Wally is just really tired because he had to save the multiverse like 2 times. Wally is a father now, taking care of his kids with his wife Linda. And Wally is also mentoring the children of Barry and Iris, Dawn and Dawn, who are getting their powers. So the main villain of this movie is Hunter Zolomon. The events of Fastest Man Alive, he was injured and paralyzed from the waist down by Mirror Master, and he asked Wally to go back in time to stop him from getting his injuries, but Wally refused because he didn't want to damage the time stream. So Hunter breaks into the Flash Museum and tries to use the cosmic treadmill, even though he's paralyzed. I don't know how that just happened in the comics. I don't know. An accident happens that gives him the power to slow down time, kind of like super speed, and he steals the reverse flash suit from the Flash Museum, and he starts calling himself Zoom. Bart Allen, Jay Garrick, Max Mercury, and Jesse Quick will also appear in this. There will be a scene where Wally and Hunter go into the Speed Force, and Wally sees Barry, and they get kind of a heartfelt talk. So yeah, that's it for movies. Let's move on to TV shows. would get a Jonah Hex show, a Creature Commandos animated series, kind of like in James Gunn's universe, a show about the Authority, a show about the Rogues, a show about the League of Assassins, and a Peacemaker show. So that is it for Phase 6 of my DC cinematic universe. And oh boy, it's I can say I have fun, but some of the process is fun, some of it is not. But I'm glad to see that people actually enjoy these videos, and there's a lot of views, and I've gotten some really nice comments from people who seem to really enjoy it. I got some comments where people are suggesting their own universes, cinematic universes, which is great. Continue, but I think by the time the MCU starts doing their phase 7, 8, and 9, then I'll just be like, okay, I'll make my own since they're still on phase 5. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself and just plan of like 50 years worth movies. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'll do phase 4, 5, and 6 of my Marvel universe. Another thing I want to say is I am not trying to say that I'm better than the actual universes they make, because this is basically this isn't what I think will be better than the DC MCU, DC EU, or DCU. No, this is just what I would like. This is just personally. Looking at this would not be realistic. Let's be honest. Obviously, I myself can't plan out all these movies because there's a lot of other factors, but this is just my own imaginary universe, and if the DC cinematic universe was at this exact structure, I don't think it would be good. We were watching this video, which I doubt. No. Why would James Gunn be watching a 318 subscriber YouTube channel? If you are watching, you can hire me. I'd like a job. I have some ideas. I wouldn't create the universe, but I can. So anyways, enough of that. So yeah, bye. That's it.